Hope you are doing great. Today we are going to be doing a daily market outlook of gold, silver, DXY, EURUSD, and GBPUSD, and US30 and SP500. I want us to look at this asset today and know how they are doing. So, as you guys know, I always analyze the market with my ICT concept and also CRT and confirming my setups using SMT. Okay, let me start by analyzing gold. I always like to keep my charts clean before I analyze so that you guys can understand how I started my analysis from the beginning to the end. Okay, here I will first delete my analysis and make the charts look clean so that you guys can understand how I analyze. Okay, this is gold. What I do is when I want to trade gold, I always add the silver chart close to gold so that I can compare. I always focus more on entry on analysis on 4 hours time frame, daily time frame, weekly time frame, and monthly time frame. Those are my favorite time frames. This is silver. I always like to attach it close to my gold chart. Okay, um this my silver and my gold. Now what do I want to see? I want to analyze my favorite analysis on one asset like gold so that the other asset also gives me the same thing. Now, like right now, I can see a daily CRT where this is my CRT high, this is my CRT high, and this is my CRT low. This is my CRT low. Okay, comparing it with my silver, I can see that this is also my CRT high. This is my accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So this is the same thing that is on gold and is also on on XAUSD. That means price is going to drop since they are giving me the same analysis. That means price is in a trend. Gold is in a trend. So on the for that so since I'm using the daily time frame, I'm going to use the 1 hour time frame for my entry. So I always like to enter my trades on 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 the daily time on the 1 hour time frame when I analyze on the daily. Sorry, this is the 4 hour time frame. I know I have to set an entry. This is the 1 hour time frame. So sorry, this is the 1 hour time frame. Since I analyze on the daily, I'm going to enter the market on the 1 hour time frame. So I'm going to be interested in using this order block for my entries, and I'll be setting my stop loss above the swing high of this order block for my stop loss above the swing high of this order block, and my target is down here. 50% of my range I always collect partials. Yes, I always collect partials. When I place a trade, I don't move my stop loss to break even when the market is going in my favor. When the market goes in my favor for at least 1:3, or when the market goes in my favor and breaks a range, right, I'm going to move my stop loss to break even. That's when it makes sense to me to move my stop loss to break even. So at 3965 I will be interested. So for gold, you guys already know that price is selling. Now we are going to analyze Euro USD, and you guys know that when I'm analyzing Euro USD, I usually compare Euro USD with the dollar index. Okay, let me delete everything so that you guys can understand the basics of the analysis to the end. This is Euro USD, so I'm going to compare it with the dollar index because they are always going opposite to each other, but they are always moving in the same direction. This is the dollar index. Let me compare it. Let me first look for my favorite setup and then compare it. This is the dollar index. Okay, right now I'll first go to the daily and compare. Okay, on the daily I can compare and see that price is actually going opposite to each other. You can see very well. I've seen my favorite setup where this is my if you have studied drawn liquidity, you understand what I actually mean. Drawn liquidity usually explain how to determine your daily bias based on candlesticks. This is my drawn liquidity. This is my candle range high, and this is my candle range low. This is my candle range low. I'm going to be looking for my entries at 50% of this range, and I'm going to wait for a liquidity grab or a liquidity sweep. Anyone you guys call it, it means the same thing. If I put my fib on, if I put even this my calculator here, I'm going to go to, since I've seen this setup on the daily time frame, I'll go to the 1 hour time frame for my confirmation, and I'll wait for a liquidity grab somewhere here. My eyes are going to be concentrated on this lows here. If price sweeps this low and close above it, or if price sweeps this low and close above it, I'm going to be interested in taking a trade based on what the daily have told me. I'm interested that price should sweep this low below 50%. Below 50%, price is at discount, so I expect more to happen. Okay, this is now what I'm seeing on Euro USD. Now on GBPUSD, well, Euro USD and GBPUSD they also turn to go in the same direction most of the time. Okay, if you look at GBPUSD, you see that GBPUSD is also giving us the same analysis where price haven't taken out this range high, and we also have this range low here. And if price also does the same thing on GBPUSD, I'm going to expect a push to the upside. If price sweeps liquidity on the 1 hour time frame, you guys understand. This is how to analyze using the candle range strategy. Let me put my feet, and you guys can see that if price goes below 50%, I'm going to expect price to start moving to the upside below 50%. This is my feet, and below 50%, that's 0.5. I expect this low to be swept, and I also expect this low to be swept. If price wants to actually push to the upside, it has to sweep these lows. This is what I want to see. You guys know my favorite entry models are Turtle Soup or Model Number 1 and the Kiss of Death. That is my favorite entries. This is what I'm expecting to see. And you can see that Euro USD and GBPUSD are going in the same direction. That is because of their positive correlation. Okay, let me go to US30 and analyze. For US30, I will compare it with SP500. Let me first delete my analysis. I always want to analyze it from the beginning so you guys understood what was my thought process, starting from the higher time frame before I went down to the lower time frame. And if I go to my daily time frame, you can see that I can see my candle range low because there are three basic candles. This is my candle range low, and that is my candle range high. So you know, when I'm analyzing US30, I like to compare it with the SP500. So they're always going in the same direction. I'm using that to analyze my SMT. If there's no SMT, I'm expecting price to be in a range, and if they're going opposite to each other, that means price is in a serious manipulation stage, and it's not going to be safe for me to actually take a trade from there. If you look at this, is the same analysis that I'm having up there, and I'm also having the same analysis down here. That is a sign of SMT. That is the sign that SMT is a very powerful tool. You can compare and see this is the same candles and the same analysis both sides. Okay, now I'm interested that I'm buying US30, the Dow Jones. Okay, let me go to the 4 hour time frame. On the 4 hour time frame, I can see that price is actually sweeping this range low this range low and also sweeping this range low. That means, when I'm always using the daily time frame, I'll use the 1 hour time frame for my confirmation. But if I also see that on the 4 hour time frame, I'm kind of getting the same analysis, I'll then use 30 minutes for my confirmation. Since I'll use 15 minutes for my confirmation, since the 4 hour time frame requires 15 minutes for confirmation. It even makes me to refine my entry more. Okay, this is the 15-minute time frame, and I can actually see that price is pushing to the upside. I already know that price is pushing to the upside, so the I don't need to be using S&P 500 anymore. I already know price is going to the upside. So when I'm using my 4 hour time frame for my buyers, I can use 30 or 15. So then it doesn't matter. I can use any of them. Let me go to 30 minutes. Okay, on the 30-minute time frame, I'm going to be using this uh, this other block that ships this liquidity. So it makes a high probability other block that is an old. This is a liquidity grab, and this is now my other block on the 30 minutes time frame. I'm going to wait for price to come to this other block with a limit order. If price comes to that other block, I'm going to be interested in taking a trade. So thanks for watching. If you have been able to watch to this level, please do like, share, and subscribe. So you guys know when I'm setting my limit order, I put my stop loss below my order block, and sorry, that's for a set. I put my stop loss below my order block, and my target number one is always 50% of the range, and my overall target is this final stage of the range. I'm going to take my profit sometimes at 50%. So if you are only focused on taking your profit at 50%, you can make a very good amount of money at the end of the day. This is the range. So 50% is always good to collect some profit. Don't be in a haste to move your stops to break even. When the market is going in your favor for at least 1:3, it makes sense. When you place a trade, you set your stop loss, you set your take profit, and you wait for the market to go in your favor. If the market happens to break a range, that's when you can actually move your stops to break even. For instance, this is an example of a range. Let me give you an example of a range. If I go to 15-minute time frame, and for instance you have something like this, like this swing high here. If price breaks this swing high here and close above this swing high here, you can actually move your stops to break even. If price break that swing high, that's example of a range. So it doesn't matter. That's just what I want you guys to know. If indeed comes back to this other block, it's going to be a great place to buy from, because the the S&P 500 is doing the same thing. So price is likely to push to the upside. Guys, don't take this analysis for granted. I'm going to be doing these videos like this regularly so I can help you guys in making money in the market. This is just the outlook of today. Thanks. Please don't forget to subscribe to this video, subscribe to this channel, and like all my content, so that you can actually boost the algorithm, so that it can reach many people, so that they can benefit from my analysis.